Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Join the Patreon or else, and like and subscribe to be a squid kid or whatever. I just want to finish the Smash roster, that's interesting to me. Inkling is from a game popular with Zoomers. I'm bad at it, I've played it, but basically you shoot goo everywhere, and whatever team makes the most goo wins. That is not what you do in D&D, but it is what you do in Smash. Much like some of these abilities will end up being useful in the Brothers of Smash, and some of them may be interesting in Dungeon and Dragon time. Speaking of time, it's time for slime.
And here it goes. I'm just a kid and life is a nightmare.
Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, position control. You need to be more territorial than Kurt Cobain on track 7. Next, spraying liquid everywhere like Kurt Cobain on track 7. Finally, turn into a squid like Kurt Cobain never did, but he should have. I would love a fuzzy song about turning into a sea creature. For stats, we'll be using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, just keep your multi-classing minimums in mind. Wisdom will be number 1. To be the squid, you have to understand the squid. Dexterity next. Shooting is important, but so is avoiding big explosions of ink. Constitution after that takes a bunch of stamina to run around as much as these cephalopodlings. Follow that up with intelligence. Some of your gear is pretty high-tech stuff, at least for the D&D world. In our world, it's a squirt gun, but you know, whatever. Strength is lower than I'd like, but I'd only like it for jumping abilities, and there's something else we can use for that. It's the jump spell. Spoilers, I like it, I like jumping in D&D, and more of you should do it. Finally, we'll dump charisma. The Splatoon language is irritating. I don't like it. If you're part squid, part kid, you're a hybrid, and a Simic one as well. Would make sense that the Simic player is all about landfall and land control. I'm picturing something like whenever Inkling deals damage to a player, you may tap one land that opponent controls and gain 1 mana of any color that doesn't expire until the end of your next turn. Been playing a lot of Magic the Gathering lately, gamers. Bump your wisdom and constitution with your points. 2 for wisdom, 1 for constitution, or the other way, doesn't matter. You have 60 feet of dark vision. The Switch is backlit after all. We're out of the Game Boy days, that's nice. And we're gonna go for underwater adaptation for swimming speed equal to your walking speed and the ability to breathe underwater. Swimming and walking pretty interchangeable for you. We'll use the athlete background for athletics and acrobatics, just zoom around like a zoomer. We'll kick things off as a druid for 2 skills from the druid list, like animal handling and survival. But the real druid skill we need is painting. Mold Earth lets you change a square of land to make it difficult terrain or whatever, but more importantly, you can change its color. Sorry, Demi-Lich Theraxis. Did you want your evil castle to not be purple? Too bad for you. But the real big brain move, shape water, which lets you move water, freeze it, or whatever, who cares. More importantly, you can change its color and opacity. The water has to fit in a 5-foot cube, but it doesn't have to stay in a 5-foot cube. If you flatten that 5-foot cube to 1 inch of viscosity, you could cover over 100 square feet, depending on how thick you want to coat it and how well you can spray it. But what good is paint if you don't have the water to make paint? Create or destroy water lets you create or destroy 10 gallons of water, or rainwater that falls in a 30-foot cube. Could be a faster way of covering everything in water, then change the water into paint. Entangle forces a strength saving throw on creatures in a 20-foot square. Failing that, they're restrained until they can make a strength check to break out. The whole area is difficult terrain, so they'll be slower while you paint up the rest of the area. Fairy Fire forces a dexterity saving throw in a 20-foot cube. Failing that, attacks against creatures inside are made with advantage, and they can't be invisible. It's supposed to be light, but what if it was glow-in-the-dark paint? And of course, Jump and Long Strider. For the mobility memes, baby. Second level druids can choose a circle, and let's make a druid of the coast. You get Misty Step for free, letting you teleport 30 feet as a bonus action to pop out of the ground, then pop out somewhere else. And Mirror Image creates 3 inky duplicates of yourself that enemies could hit instead of you, so you don't have to die. That's good. It's not die, it's ink. There is a distinction. You can also wild shape, but you can't be a squid yet, so it's garbage. Third level druids can learn second level spells. Spike Growth makes the floor dangerous in a 20-foot radius circle, dealing 2d4 piercing damage to creatures who move through those spaces, and it's difficult terrain, so hopefully they're going to be stuck in there a while. Fourth level druids get an ability score improvement. Put it in wisdom for better inking. More importantly, your wild shapes can swim, so Squid Kid is a go. If there were regular squids in 5e, there are octopuses, so technically we built Octoling. Fifth level druids can learn third level spells. Melstone lets you melt into the floor if the floor is rocks. Tidal Wave will let you get that final smash on to force a dexterity saving throw on creatures in a 30-foot long, 10-foot wide, 10-foot high area, dealing 4d8 bludgeoning damage to those that fail and knocking them prone, half damage, and no knocking if they succeed. It's big water. 6th level land druids get land stride, so moving through non-magical terrain doesn't cost you extra movement, and you get advantage on saving throws against magical plant-based effects. This isn't even power creep. Moon Druid is on the same page as this. What the fuck. 7th level druids can learn 4th level spells. Freedom of movement means nothing can slow you down. You can't be paralyzed or restrained. It's basically landstride, but a little bit better. And also you can break out of non-magical shackles with 5 feet of movement, which is cool. 8th level druids get an ability score improvement, cap your wisdom, and start working on your constitution. I guess we're really done. Just need wisdom for the best inking we can do. 9th level druids can learn 5th level spells. Maelstrom is a bigger tidal wave, but different-er. It makes a 30-foot radius of swirling water that's 5 feet deep, making the area difficult terrain, and forcing a strength saving throw on creatures inside, dealing 6d6 bludgeoning damage and pulling them into the center if they fail. Stays up for a minute depending on your concentration, letting you change the color of the water on following turns with shaped water. 10th level land druids get nature's ward, so you can't be charmed or frightened by elementals and fae, and you're immune to poison and disease, which is pretty good. It's like purity of body with a very, very specific situational buff. Just scaling up here for more ink spells. 11th level druids can learn 6th level spells. Investiture of ice is nice, surrounding you in a 10-foot radius of difficult terrain. You're immune to cold damage and can force a constitution saving throw on creatures in a 15-foot cone, dealing 4d6 cold damage if they fail, and having their movement speed. The Inklings don't spray ice, but they do slow other people down around them and shoot stuff in a cone shape. I also don't know what damage type I would call ink. Maybe it's really cold. You don't know? 12th level druids get another ability score improvement or feat. I don't know, tough? Just get more HP or whatever. Grab something else if you like. Some of you get off on Warcaster, so do that if you want. We'll grab it next time. There's just no real reason to invest in physical stats. We're gonna go squid all the time. 13th level druids can learn 7th level spells, and Symbol puts a symbol on the floor, but oh god, there is too much text here. I don't feel like reading it. I think you can make it look like anything. Maybe draw a rocket ship or a dog bone or 2 apples and a banana. Or a dick. 14th level land druids get nature's sanctuary, so when the beasts or plants want to attack you, they have to make a wisdom saving throw or attack someone else. As soon as they succeed, they no longer have to roll that for the next 24 hours. Gamers, we found an ability more useless than infiltration expertise from Assassin. This only works with 2 creature types, both of which have generally really low CR monsters. You're level 14 and a fucking dog can't bite you. A sapperling can't whatever sapperlings do to attack you. But also if they make the saving throw, they're just done making it for the next 24 hours. Holy shit, this is terrible. Who wrote this? Who wrote this for the 14th level ability and let it through? Maybe Shambling Mounds? Oh no, that's CR 5. Okay, I guess like a T-Rex or a giant ape. If you're not on Chult, this is dog water terrible. 5th level druids can learn 8th level spells like Tsunami. It's a big water spell. You can look it up. If you want to say it's orange, you can. Unless your DM says you can't. That's kind of the rule for everything. Look, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to make these, but I'm sort of just reading rules for 8 to 12 minutes, and druid spells make me sleepy. Gotta start phoning it in a little bit, or I'm gonna shut off the building character faucet. 16th level druids get an ability score improvement. You can't get Great Weapon Master, so Warcaster. Sure. 17 level druids get shape change, so you can be a squid kid more than twice per long rest. You should be able to wild shape more often than twice a day if the shape you choose is terrible. Also, you can be a giant squid now, if that's a 5e thing, or anything under challenge rating 17 with shape change. So, go nuts. Can't be a kraken. That kind of sucks. 18th level druids get beast spells, so you can cast beast spells while you're wild shaped. It'd be pretty cool if you weren't turning into something that breaks when it's hit by a stiff breeze. 19th level druids get another ability score improvement or a feat. Spell Sniper lets you shoot your ink further, I think. I don't know, I don't really use that one a lot, but it has spell in the name, and we were done with ability scores at level 8, so grab that one. Perhaps known as the 20th level of Druid for Arch Druid, letting you wild shape an unlimited number of times. Now you can just keep turning back into an octopus by wasting your action as many times as you want. Circle of Land Arch Druid is mildly fair. The biggest thing you can be is CR1. It's also hilarious that Circle of the Land and Circle of the Moon were printed directly next to each other in the same book. It would be like if someone argued that Superman and Garfield are basically the same power level since they are both comic book characters. Now that we've at level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, area control and denial. You've got all of that. You're rocking big wisdom, so you should be good at finding where you need to go and you won't get charmed. Especially not by Fae and Elementals, am I right, land druid enjoyers? Finally, wild shape is good and you don't have to turn into an octopus. You could turn into like a big crab or something. Yeah, this build sucks. I'm sorry, level 20 Druid, and it's bad. Just goes to show picking spells kind of important, and Druid isn't necessarily broken on its own. The subclasses like Moon and Spores make it busted. Mix it up at home and pick a different backup stat, and probably don't focus on Aerial Denial, even if that was one of the pros. Area Denial is bad. You know how many late game enemies just fly over your ground effects? Yeah, probably don't do this one. Unless you want to. I'm not a cop. I don't hate Splatoon. If you really want to splat stuff, you should do that. D&D isn't really about how well you do in combat or even how well you do out of it. Just try and enjoy it. Don't make it your job. Seriously, don't make it your job. Just enjoy the game as long as you can. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe for more. We're making these, but we'll probably make other videos that are better than this later. Join the Patreon. I might honestly just throw these up on there. Posting them here is one of the most stressful aspects of making these. And go watch Tulok and Mango if you want to watch the videos where Tulok enjoys himself.